All right, what are we calling this one?
Oriental
ankle harlots.
I say.
Easy.
Easy peasy. Oh my God, she's gorgeous. Look at all that attitude in her eyes.
No, I said that right.
Yeah. She's like,
and Jade was like, this is creepy.
She was like, she's looking at me while I'm just trying to eat this here chicky tend. She's a bad bitch. Do we name her?
Wow.
Does she have a name?
No, I don't know.
I don't feel like we can name her.
Did I tell you, though, where I found it?
In like that random shop, right?
No,
Temu?
So, no.
Oh, God. I was
No. So, like, I got it in China. The first version of that poster, I got it in Chinatown, like, in college. So, like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And so I got it at this one store that is now closed, but they used to have them in, like, all the stores.
Right.
And so I thought, oh, I'm going to have to go deep Chinatown. So I started out by, like, House of Nanking, which is, like, deeper Chinatown. And I was like, I'll work my way forward. It was the first store past the gate, like the Chinatown gate with the lions. First store, which happened to be the last store that we went to.
That ain't right. That ain't right.
I was like,
it was like they were like trying to do you a solid, and you're like, no, I'm gonna make this shit real tough.
yeah.
I'm gonna go on this here.
I was up and down alleyways. I was up high in attics, down low in basements, looking for this fucking poster. And I walk past the store and I see it. I wasn't even gonna go in it because it didn't look like, it looked like tchotchkes only.
Okay.
But like as I was passing, I could see her like this. Like
staring you down.
Staring me down. So
yeah.
I ran in there and the lady was like, you're so lucky because I just found a box of these and I put them out. You're the first one who's bought one at all.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What are the chances?
Oh, I almost bought a second one.
Serendipitous.
Too,
I was going to say, why didn't you get another one? Just
I got
in
a girl on a
case?
bike. I got this like girl on a bike. That's
girl
really
on
cute.
bike.
I almost got this girl and she's like leaning back in like this like canoe on a jungle with an umbrella, and I was about to go by, but then I noticed her whole ass boob was out, full nip, and I was like, probably not good to put in my living room. It was like a little objectifying for a family home, but
yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I just paint a little like. Paint a little like
put a little pineapple sticker,
just a little sticker right over her nipple.
Little starfish. Starfish.
Yeah. Even like the girl on the bike, I was like, oh, is her shirt sheer? Because you do see a little nip. It's like not enough.
It's like a harmless nip.
Yeah, it's a little harmless nip.
Oh, then I'm not even.
It's like a little like Chinese pinup girl. She's horrible. Okay, yeah, we should just
let's go because I can see your face.
What? That I'm dying?
You're you're dying inside.
I'm dying. I'm not dying inside.
Not inside, but on the outside.
My light is fading.
Yeah.
I'm just like,
you're a flicker. You're a flicker.
I'm a
You're
flicker
a
of
flicker.
light.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes because this is the first American yoga scandal.
Really?
Yeah.
That.
Oh, wait. Oh. I'm Jenna.
And I'm Jess.
That's all.
Usually.
That's just us today. But welcome. Today we're talking about, why am I feeling so awkward right now?
Because we don't usually introduce ourselves well.
Yeah.
You know what we need to do is like practice? And like
I'm not gonna practice.
If we were to practice, it would be so fucking silly, and it just wouldn't be organic. And I
would be like, "That's Jess."
Exactly.
And she'd be like, "I'm not over this, Jenna."
Can you imagine?
That's our intro.
No. Yeah.
Done. Practiced.
Glad you're here.
Okay. The first American yoga scandal. There's a trigger warning for sexual abuse and a wee bit of inadvertent turn of the century Asian racism.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah. So Pierre Bernard was born Perry Arnold Baker on October 31st. That's Halloween.
That is Halloween.
1875.
Watch it.
So post-Dickensian Halloween.
Dickensian! I haven't heard it in so long.
I know. Also, I don't even know if this is really his birthday.
Oh shit!
But
it sounds good.
He said it was, but I think it was part of his like vibe.
He's like, oh, I'm a spooky motherfucker.
Yeah, I was born on Halloween.
Yeah. Okay, Perry.
When the veil was thin. He also allegedly used the name Homer Stansbury Leeds.
What?
Yeah,
that's a cool one. That's a hard one to just come up with. I'm not even mad.
So, I actually don't know that he actually used that, but it's listed in a bunch of things, and it has nothing to do with anything. It's just a really cool name.
Really cool name. That's why I'm like, I can't even be mad.
Homer Stansbury Leeds. So there's not much known about his childhood because he, again, tried to present this like air of mystery around himself. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know where this name came from. I don't even know that Perry Arnold Baker is technically his real name. Or if he was born on Halloween. Not a lot is known. Because,
what we know is what he wants us to know.
Yes, Dickensian times. There was no internet to fact check anything. So what we do know is that when he was 13, he was sent to live with his uncle in Lincoln, Nebraska, when his mother remarried. She had a ton of kids. And I guess this was like normal at the time.
Oh, shit. I mean, yeah, back in the day, people used to be cranking them babies out.
Yeah, it's giving Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Like, why?
Yeah.
Have you ever wondered why Dorothy lives with Aunt Em?
No.
Maybe her parents were just like, we've got too many kids.
I literally, that is never.
Because she never is like, I'm an orphan. You know what?
No.
There's so many books. I bet you there's a backstory and I've not read and I'm just ignorant as fuck because I've only been like, watching Judy Garland version.
Well, this is the thing.
Or the Firuza Balk
Just now is the first time you've ever questioned it. So,
I know.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to do some research.
No, we'll let you guys
next episode.
We'll let you to the next
Dorothy's backstory.
Dorothy's prequel.
Yeah. So there in Lincoln, Nebraska, he met Silvius Hamadi, who was his uncle's neighbor, who was only in his 20s at the time, and he was teaching yoga privately to a few students. Bernard was like super mesmerized by the practice and soon found that he had a knack for the physicality of the hatha yoga practice. Now, at the time, yoga wasn't really a thing in the U.S.
I was going to say, that's so cool.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, there was like a few people who would come through, but it's not like, it wasn't like what it is now. It's not even what it was like in the 60s or the 50s, even when like Anne Hamilton Byrne was doing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is like turn of the century.
Literally.
Like, before, like still 19th century. So Hamadi taught Bernard, also especially in Nebraska.
I'm thinking Omaha.
Like
I don't think yoga.
No,
I don't know why I have to say Omaha like that. It's fun,
I don't know why either.
No,
but
it felt right though.
I know.
I
did like it. It sounded very like football.
You know what I channeled?
You channeled football?
I channeled
McConaughey?
Greenbow, Alabama.
Oh.
We watched Forrest Gump. I've like, there's like bits and pieces that I was catching. I think that's where it came from.
So Hamadi taught Bernard everything he knows about hatha yoga, tantra, meditation, and Vedic philosophy. And in the 1890s, he started traveling around with him, like throughout the country. And over the years, Bernard soaked up all he could about traditional Indian practices. But as he got older, he kind of started putting his own fresh spin on things and adding a little bit of like showmanship, like a little bit of flair.
Yeah, a little bit of flair, a little bit of something.
Which gives me, this is the greatest show, which I just watched when I was sick. And then I tried to make Faye watch it with me a second time. And she said, absolutely not.
Every time they start singing the
boom, boom.
Yeah.
This is me.
Yeah.
I
cannot. There's a 0% chance that I can stop the water coming from my eyeballs. I
love it.
Always get like my body. Like
Jack loved it. Faye was like, oh, Mom.
Nobody's dying.
I know. I made them watch all musicals, which is very unlike me.
It
like
is unlike
during the
you.
day, I was like, guess what? You want to watch Hairspray? We're watching Hairspray.
Yeah.
Want to watch Newsies? No, too bad.
Too bad.
Too bad.
They're like
you watching
toothpicks on
Newsies.
their eyelids.
Uh-huh.
Just, you will watch.
Jack, this is off topic, but Jack was like, boys can get jobs. I want a job.
I want a job. Boy,
I was like,
get a job.
oh,
You don't want a job, baby.
poor baby.
Yeah.
They're getting paid like half a penny a day.
Yeah, literally. And that's out of necessity.
Uh-huh.
Like, you don't want to have to.
I know.
It's
So, yeah. So he starts putting this like new kind of like fresh like spin on it. And one of his aims was to impress the medical community because he believed that Eastern medicine and philosophy could be of great benefit to Western medicine, which was a belief that was very ahead of its time.
Yeah. I was
And-
going to say, wow. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds legit and spot on to me.
Yeah. Also, though, okay. Also at the time, because now we're like, yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
But back then, I made a list. I forgot I did this. I made a list of Western medicine at the time. One of the things that was popular was milk transfusions.
What?
Almost nobody survived this procedure, and they just kept doing
They
it.
kept just going?
Yeah.
Wait, like putting milk into people's bloodstreams?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh my God. I saw a baby cow today.
Like a real one?
Yeah.
Oh, where?
Over, just like on the side of the road.
Just cowing?
Yeah.
Caffin,
When
maybe?
it was like it was just caffin, like in its little pen. And I was like, I really wanted to go up to it. And then I was like, Jenna, don't scare that cow.
Don't do it. And then Mama Cow is going to
Mama cow was right there. She seemed to not
Yeah.
care, but
Oh, she gives zeros.
she gave zeros,
Cute.
but it was really cute. Anyway,
Okay.
they also prescribed cigarettes as a cure for asthma, cocaine for hay fever. And
I feel like cocaine would solve everybody's problems temporarily.
right, tobacco smoke enema for cholera.
Up your butthole?
Yeah, I don't know where, like, how you get the smoke up there.
One can only
Someone
assume you
someone
insert a
just
straw
blows it.
like a fucking balloon.
Yeah, I don't know. That's how they thought. That's how they thought you could cure cholera.
That is some wild Western medicine.
right. So Western medicine wasn't really doing that well.
No.
So that was just a side note. Had nothing to
That's
do with
funny.
anything. I just was like, wait,
Yeah.
weren't they doing crazy things? And they were.
They indeed were.
They indeed were doing really
Uh-huh.
crazy things. So he started performing these public demonstrations of what he called the Kali Mudra, which Kali is the goddess of, okay. You know what? It doesn't even matter
Okay.
who Kali is at this point or what a mudra is at this point. But Kali Mudra is not what this is, like
Mhm.
what we would know it as. So I don't know. It's kind of cringe. Anyway, he puts himself into a deep death-like trance and allows himself to be poked and prodded with surgical needles. And then it got so popular that in 1989 in San Francisco, it led him to being featured on the cover of the New York Times because everyone was like, oh, look at this guy. He puts himself in a death-like trance, this Kali Mudra, blah, blah, blah.
That he could just be like, he could live there, like, take anything, essentially.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that he was like, oh, he makes himself die and then he comes back.
uh-huh.
So he capitalized on this and he starts delving into hypnotism and marketing himself as the hypnotist Dr. Bernard. Although he was not a doctor, like many of the people that we cover on this podcast,
Weird.
who often try to pretend that they're doctors. He is also not a
Well,
doctor.
this guy takes clearly a lot of creative.
I mean, this is the great
yeah, exactly.
So he like grew into a local celebrity in the Bay Area.
Meanwhile, how's Hamadi feeling about this?
He's raking in the dough with him.
All right.
He's like, cool.
Thick as thieves.
Yeah. So Yeah, so he becomes like super famous in the Bay Area. And the reason behind the shift was it was really hard to market being a yoga teacher or like even a swami in the late 19th century. So instead of selling yoga, he's selling what yoga can do for the body.
Mm-hmm.
So he's specialized in specializing in the treatment of nervous disorders or specializing in hysteria because, yoga tends to work really well for the nervous system.
Yeah.
And like for the mind, which at the time, if you were just like a normal ass woman, they were like, you have hysteria.
Yoga.
Yeah. So he would just market the effect or like market the results.
Right. To be a part of his.
Because that's really weird. And, Bay Area people, I think, have always been very weird.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everyone was like, yeah,
sure,
let's do it. In 2005.
Lord.
Not 2005. 100 years earlier, in 1905, he founded the Bacchante Academy with a colleague, Mortimer K. Hargis.
I love the name Mortimer. I'm not sure why.
K. Hargis. There they taught hypnotism and sexual practices.
Oh, shit. Okay.
And he would perform lectures on Tantra with a bit of occult languaging, but would do it with this kind of, again, showmanship. And he was so well orchestrated and he was a very magnetic speaker, so he drew a lot of attention. He was also known for catering to young women interested in learning hypnotism for themselves and, quote, soul charming. Yeah.
The Bacchante charming a lot of souls. It's so crazy because I honestly, it's, we're going to keep saying this throughout, but this is so ahead of his time, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's during a time where, like, Tantra, like, I don't know, I feel like sex is, like, a big no-no, or that people weren't as open as they are now.
Oh, yeah, back then it was like, oh, your ankle is showing,
Exactly, yes, sloot.
Wait, what did they call it? It's not a charlatan, I don't know, a charlatan is a fake.
I don't know, but I'm not good with the vocal.
Harlot!
Oh, even better.
Oh my God, why did it take me so long to think of harlot? And I'm like literally touching and flexing my ankle like I am.
It had to come to you.
It had to come to me.
You had to channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
You show an ankle, you're a harlot. Have you seen? Oh my God. Miracle Workers?
No.
It's got like Daniel Radcliffe. And like there's this Oregon Trail one where he accidentally sees her ankles.
What?
He's like, oh my God.
He's like, she's like taking about, like, I've seen too much. Avert my eyes.
Oh my God. It's so good. Anyway, so the Bacchante Academy was doing so well that in 1906, he started a secret society called the Tantric Order of America. And it started as like this offshoot of the company, of the Bacchante Academy. So the Bacchante Academy is like very public facing. And then there's a secret society that kind of it's the same group, but it's like the next level. And he starts going by the Omnipotent
Oh, wow.
Again. Okay. Giving Wizard of Oz. The order was very like cloak and dagger, like very like they had like special like feathers and like emblems that they wore, very like Victorian.
Oh, wow. Okay, fancy.
Capes and shit. So in order to get in, you had to pay $100 for initiation.
A lot of money.
Which in today's currency would be about $3,400.
Yeah.
They had to recite an oath that pledged unreserved compliance, obedience, and resignation to the order's teachers and, quote, promise perpetual silence to the uninitiated.
Okay. So
which
this
actually,
is red flag.
I was going to say it sounds kind of fun.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it sounds like a middle school club. Right?
Yeah, but also this is where goes wrong.
Yeah, this is where shit goes wrong. But I could get like why it seems so like forbidden. Bernard would wear this like dark velvet cape, and it had this like little insignia like right in the middle, like this little gold brooch, which was like I think it was like the Star of David with like a snake eating its own tail. So it looked very kind of like
oh my god,
magical, mystical.
Yeah.
And the structure was kind of set up like Scientology or like NXIVM, where the membership was arranged like a pyramid. So the higher you get up, the more knowledge you're privy to, but also you graduated to each new level through a series of tests of your knowledge of the Vedas, like an exam, and the tantric sex ceremonies were reserved for the highest levels of the membership, like the little, like, the top of your
the top pyramid. Of the iceberg. Yeah, the type of the pyramid. That is so crazy. Yeah, this escalated. Like, how does one sit and, like, create this structure and create all these, like, random rules out of just nowhere?
Honestly, I think there was probably a market for it.
Yeah.
And then, like most
people
things,
are buying
they
in.
Things get a little bit too a little bit too fancy.
Yep.
So now a lot of what Hamadi and Bernard were teaching was very similar to the Vedanta Society, which was led by Swami Vivekananda, which also had headquarters in San Francisco. However, the Tantric order placed a huge emphasis on Tantra. Thus the name. And it was something that Swami Vivekananda and other similar organizations were staying away from because tantrics didn't have the most amazing reputation in Victorian India.
Yeah.
And it was secretive, and it was secretive and misunderstood, and they knew it wouldn't really fly with Westerners.
Right.
And today you think of like Westerners being like more progressive, but this is, again, 1905.
Yeah, there's not
ankle harlot.
Right, ankle harlots.
Ankle harlot.
I feel like we're gonna use that for
and so the same the ankle harlots. The same year he opened the Tantric order, the 1906 earthquake and its subsequent fires leveled San Francisco.
Oh, shit.
So he relocated to New York. Around this time, politically, there was this really big nationalist movement taking hold. This was kind of like, you know how we always refer to like the 60s as like the spiritual gold rush?
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like spiritual gold rush like 1.0, like this is like the origin spiritual gold rush. And so politically, a lot of like prominent white, all of the white prominent politicians were getting really, really nervous. And so there was this growing fear about what they called white slavery and mind control and human trafficking, which led to a few acts passed that targeted Asian immigrants, most notably the White Slave Traffic Act of 1910.
What?
Or the Mann Act, as it was later renamed. It was used at the time. It was used to prosecute interracial couples, but through the years has been amended, and it was actually used to convict R. Kelly.
Oh, shit.
And that Ghislaine Maxwell too. Yeah. So they were both found guilty. They were both convicted under the Mann Act, which was originally a super racist shit.
Yeah, it was.
So despite a growing fear of what he was teaching, Pierre Bernard was white and rich, so he was emboldened by like the pearl clutching surrounding his teachings. He just was like,
yeah,
I can do what I want.
Yeah, try.
So he set up his Center for Operations on the Upper West Side at 258 West 74th. It was still considered part of the Tantric Order of America, but it was also called the Oriental Sanctum.
Oh, shit.
And the House of Oriental Mysteries.
House of Oriental Mysteries.
House of Oriental Mysteries. If there was a poster that said that, we would need it.
Yeah. You can probably make that. Not that we need to make something like that, but
I kind of want one.
Yeah.
I think my Korean grandma would still use Oriental for a very long time.
So we have
way past the time that you were supposed to.
We have a girlfriend who grew up in, shout out Joni, she would never listen to this podcast. But she grew up in Grants Pass, Oregon, and it was just like this small town. And then she, I guess, like moved out here for college, met her now husband, and they went to the same college, and they were like, is he Oriental? And he was like, whoa. I was like, we don't do that. But it just goes to show, it's like, whoa, okay.
I know, isn't that wild?
Yeah, it is.
So the House of Oriental Mystery garnered a lot of
House of Oriental Mysteries.
Okay, Oriental.
Oh, it's getting better. Oriental.
Let's
make it bad. Let's make it real bad. Let's take already offensive and turn it up.
I don't even know how do you think to drink. I'm drinking like sleepy time tea. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe that's
it's
making
my
y'all
sleepy time
loopy.
tea.
Maybe loopy.
So the House of Oriental Mystery. His organization garnered a lot of attention for the mysticism that surrounded it. Here he taught yoga, religion, philosophy, and recreated his secret membership system, bringing even richer members like kind of into the fold. Sarah Bernhardt was a member, and she was like the first A-list celebrity actress.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna post a picture of her because she was like very glamorous.
Yeah.
Very like silent movie star, very like gender bending, like she was getting Lady Gaga, but like vintage
Gaga.
like flapper. Oh no, yeah. Victorian Gaga.
Yeah. Okay.
Membership included the pledge, that $100 initiation fee, and then a $25 medical examination fee, which was like still like $800 in today's currency. And then the building had a series of secret electric bells that you would need to fire in a set sequence to gain entry. So it was like a long short.
Cool.
I know.
That is cool.
I know. So it's very hush hush, but I think it added to like the excitement.
The excitement of it all.
Right?
It's like especially where it's like more exactly.
It was like a yoga speakeasy.
Yeah.
Let's start that.
I mean, say less.
Short, long, short,
long,
short, long, short.
Yep.
And then a little ding, ding. Yeah. So the press would stake out the sanctum and would report scandalous stories. One publication posted that the reporter heard, quote, wild Oriental music and women's cries, but not those of distress.
Wild Oriental music
and women's cries, but not
those of distress.
Shit was going down.
It was good.
It's going down for real. Why am I always fucking singing? And I need to just stop.
It's good for you.
On May 2nd, 1910, 19-year-old Gertrude Leo, who had followed Bernard from California and sometimes was his secretary, sometimes not, and 18-year-old Zella Hopp, who was put into Bernard's care by her family to help with a heart condition, went to the West 68th Street police station to report they had been kidnapped and held against their will. The NYPD was more than eager to raid the tantric order, and they did that. Just like the next morning, they were like, okay,
yep, we got one.
Mission.
Here we go.
So when they arrived at the order.
What's going down in this House of Oriental Mysteries? I want to know.
Oriental Mysteries. So when they arrived to the House of Oriental Mysteries, Bernard was standing in the middle of the room on a pedestal teaching yoga to about like 10 people, all clad in tights. And it was reported that 2 officers, quote, saw the tights with their own eyes.
Oh, no! Avert! Harlot ankles everywhere! I'm just kidding.
Look at those harlot ankles in this House of Orients. Bernard was arrested in a turban and a gown.
Oh, wow. I mean, if he's going to go out.
He's going to go out looking lavish. Will Smith in Aladdin.
In Aladdin. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my God. The Evening Telegram reported, quote, it is charged that Bernard conducted seances in which he instructed the class of students attired in strange and scantily raiment in the mysteries of the Orient, which he was regarded as high priest.
God, it is just too good.
Wait, here's some headlines.
The mysteries. Okay.
Mystic hailed as abductor. Court aghast at her story of Hindu den. Girl describes right as Hindus, spelt Hindoof.
Oh!
Girl describes rites in Hindus' Oriental seances.
Oh, wow.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It is so dumb. It's so dumb. I love it. They didn't even try. They were just like, how do you spell Hindu?
Yeah.
We're
gonna shoot from the hip here.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I like how I look like I'm typing on.
They don't do
have
that.
typewriters
No.
back then. I mean,
They probably had typewriters.
they had to have a typewriter.
Yeah.
Wait, when were typewriters invented?
Alexa,
I think that you just did it by hand.
probably.
And then you went to the printing press and you like put them together. I don't think there was a typewriter back in 1905. Wait, yes,
There
Moulin
had to be
Rouge.
typewriters back then.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I think about this? That book. Where the girl, she couldn't talk. Lizzie Borden.
That's not Lizzie Borden.
No.
Helen Keller?
Oh, no.
That's
That
not
book-
Lizzie Borden.
Remember
Lizzie
that
Borden
book?
was the axe killer.
Yeah, it was the girl.
What?
Did you not read the book? That was
Lizzie Borden
that was written.
had an axe?
No, it was a book that was
Father
based off of her.
Oh, no.
Oh, Aldrich.
Oh,
got
wait.
it.
The one that we all read for like,
So
yeah. But that wasn't Victorian times.
it felt that.
I don't think so. I think it was like 50s.
Oh,
Oh, you had a really beautiful story in your head, though.
all that.
That would have
all
been a
that.
lot more beautiful.
See, that's the thing. My brain is not reliable when it comes
The last
to certain.
one
I like
left?
to
The
make.
only
I
ones
like
left.
to like put all the stories together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The only ones left.
yeah, that's what it was.
Oh, wait, hold on. When were typewriters invented? I didn't have. Oh, 1868. They
Oh,
definitely were available
Yeah,
then. So, yeah. So, here I am typing.
Uh-huh.
I'm a reporter of the New York Times. No spell check.
Fine. Hindus.
Hindus. But like they also spell okay, fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's been done.
It's been done.
The moment has passed. Moment has
The horse-
passed
the horse is
well over
dead.
100 years ago.
The horse is dead. Yeah.
All right. Bernard spent about 3 months in Sing Sing with a bail of $15,000, which is like $500,000 today.
Oh shit.
While a very public trial played out. Bernard claimed publicly that it was just a physical practice of yoga and meditation, like no big deal. But Jenny Miller, sister of Gertrude Leo, called him the active head of an organization known as the Tantric Order, an East Indian black magic society which uses teachings of alleged Orientalism to cloak terrible things.
Oh. I can't with this Oriental. I can't. It's so good.
The grand jury trial lasted 5 days and was closely covered by the papers. Hop and Leo accused Bernard of hypnotizing his students, making false promises, luring them into a sexual relationship with him, and then running a cult. Both girls had sexual relationships with Bernard while studying under him, which is a really gross abuse of power, especially because Zella Hop's parents took her there and were like,
to help her.
Please help her.
Yeah.
And he's like, no.
He's like,
I will.
I'll help her with this. Never mind. I'll help her.
Leo claimed that she had tried to leave the order 3 times and was not only prevented from leaving, but was briefly imprisoned. She alleged that originally she was allowed to leave on her own, and once she was repelled by Bernard's behavior because his relationship with like the other girls in the organization, she was like, okay, this is clearly I'm not the one.
I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
And so then after that, she wasn't permitted to leave without supervision. And so she manages to run away, but was caught and drugged with morphine.
What?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like, I feel like he's doing, as far as like what I've heard so far, he's doing like the culty shit. He's certainly abusing power, but I didn't hear anything like, I mean, comparative.
Compared to what we normally see,
Right.
this is like,
It's like watered down a little bit. He doesn't seem so like so bad, but he's bad.
No, yeah. I think he's terrible. I think that because I have more to say about it at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So So that's the first time, right? So she's caught, drugged with morphine. Second time, she was starved for days and told her life was not worth anything and could be very easily killed. At the time, her and Hop were best friends, but she knew that Hop was also sleeping with him. So she didn't trust her to help. So finally, she managed to run away in a town where she knew no one, and it was caught 2 weeks later and locked away in a room for 2 weeks. She said a few years later in an interview,
Who are these people like going back and snatching her back up?
well, I think he had like people out everywhere. I think there was a lot of people that he had under him that were like trying to get up higher in that level, like level up.
That is so crazy. So much so that they would be able to paint this girl as something bad for everybody to be like, oh, we got to find her. We got to bring her back. Whatever. Like,
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then she said a few years later in an interview that there was a secret signal of the electric bells that allowed members to enter. It was like 3 long rings and 1 short. And on the night that her sister came to rescue her, the bell was out of order. And so that's how they were able to get in like undetected. And Zella Hop had already realized the condition, and like she said Zella Hop had already realized the condition of affairs and betrayed the secret to my sister. So Zella Hop, the one that was also sleeping with her, was like, or with Bernard, was like, I need to help my friend. And so she went and got her sister, got Gertrude Leo's sister. And then together they got her out, and then they went to the police.
Oh my God, that's great. That's incredible.
Zella Hop reported that for pre-induction, Bernard had her strip and then placed his hand on her left boob and told her he was just checking her heartbeat.
Yeah, through her boob?
Yeah.
Through her breastises?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Because he's a doctor. He knows anatomy.
Doctor. Oh my God, I forgot that he's a doctor. Self-proclaimed doctor.
Uh-huh.
He's whatever he wants to be.
I know. She said, I cannot tell you how Bernard got his control over me or how he gets it over other people. He is the most wonderful man in the world. No woman seems able to resist him. He has promised to marry me many times, but when he began the same thing with my little sister, who was 16 at the time, I decided I would expose the whole matter. If it had only been myself, I wouldn't have done it for the whole world, which sounds brainwashed as fuck.
Yeah, it does sound brainwashed as fuck.
I know. And really sad because she's only like 18.
Yeah. But I'll be honest with you, like, you know how sometimes like, you stand up for other people, you do more for other people than you would advocate for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And then there's this like really weird exchange in court. On May 7th, when Hop was testifying about Bernard's empty promises to marry her, one of the lawyers is like, well, do you really want to marry her? And he was like, and they were like, was that a yes? And so then they were like, Miss Hop, would you still want to marry Bernard, like Mr. Bernard? And the judge was like, whoa.
What is happening here? Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah,
absolutely. Something shady as fuck.
Object.
Like it was like a really weird, but it was like a headline thing.
The audacity.
Yeah. So they claim to have to have had freedom, but it was with the hypnotism that so they think that the hypnotism restricted their ability to leave. Leo said that she feared and loved him, and she believed he had superhuman powers, as he told her he could communicate telepathically with other priests around the world, so he'd know wherever she went. So that's why she was like, he couldn't find me anywhere.
Yeah, like he's the knower of all things.
He can communicate telepathically.
That is so fucking crazy.
Yeah. During the trial, Bernard remained pretty brazen and unfazed, and like
he probably was like, I'm untouchable.
Like,
I'm anything I want to be again, right? Like nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah. So there was a lot of people who came and like testified about like the process. Some members were required to sign their secret oath in blood, which Gertrude Leo testified she took part in to get back into his good graces after her first runaway attempt. She's like, I re-signed in blood.
Yeah.
And the publicity of the girls' trial was so brutal for these 2 girls that when asked if they would go back to testify, Gertrude Leo was like, no.
Like I'm done.
I've done too much.
Yeah, I don't have any left in me.
Way too bad. No way. So she left New York. And Zella Hop just completely disappeared. And so with both girls unwilling to testify, Bernard's lawyer convinced the judge to release him since there would be no trial going
There's
forward.
nothing that they're holding. Like, they gave up.
They gave up.
Oh, no. After all that?
Uh-huh. So despite the notoriety, the doctors, the actors, and wealthy young women were flocking still to learn yoga.
Disgust. I mean, well, I get that part, but
yeah. In 1999, oh my God.
She's doing it again. It's fine.
1919.
Mm-hmm. I can see how you did that.
Yeah, 1919. He bought a 73-acre estate in Upper Nyack, New York. It was a 30-room Gregorian mansion surrounded by a wooded mountain and a river where he kept the same practices, but the remote location gave him a little bit more freedom. Members had to pay even more money. The blood oath was apparently still a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they would host ceremonies where Bernard would sit on a throne in like a turban and silk robe and like Turkish pants. And he had a scepter that he would hold.
Oh my God, the scepter.
And then he would
the scepter.
And then he'd smoke a cigar. That was like their weird ceremonies that would happen. But so the police were called out often to the property.
I was gonna say he's like out there able to do just so much more because he has all that much more freedom and to do whatever.
So he was rich and paid a lot of taxes. So they just
allowed.
They just let it.
We're making
they were
money.
Like, well, I guess
You're paying our salaries.
Yeah. So he remained super popular. He eventually married a famous yoga pioneer, Blanche de Vries. She was known for combining Eastern-inspired sensual dance and yoga and was credited for contributing to the shifts in attitude about women's autonomy over their own bodies.
Huh.
Very wonderful, beautiful.
Yeah.
He remained a savvy businessman in baking, real estate, and dog track racing. I can't.
What?
That was like one of his big businesses. And I was like, that is like so not yoga. But
yeah. But
okay.
Again, he's whoever he wants to be.
Sure. Yeah. So Bernard's library is said to have the best Sanskrit collection in the country.
Oh, really?
And he goes down as like a pioneer of American yoga, even though he was shady as fuck.
And
I think a lot of it has to do
abused
with his marriage to Blanche de Vries made him more favorable. And because
I was gonna say, how did he even bag her? Because that sounds fucked up. That sounds like stupid. But how did he even like win her over with like all this yucky poo-poos that
I don't think she was one of his students.
Damn.
Went off, did her own thing, and then came back, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that because she's held in such high regard, he also is held a little bit higher than he should.
Mm-hmm.
But also I think because the papers were so ridiculous that it's hard from like a discerning eye now to look back and be like, obviously those weren't fair headlines.
Right. But you only see what you see. It's like
you only see what you
like,
see.
Yeah.
So I feel like he is still really yuck despite whatever he might have done to further yoga. I think he's gross and disgusting. And yeah, that's the story of the first American yoga scandal. 1910. 1909? 1910. 1905? What did I say? 1905.
I don't know. He was born in 1875. That's when I stopped writing dates.
He was like old and gross.
Yeah.
But he was still trying to do some shady shit with some young girls. Mm-hmm.
Bad. Not as bad as we're used to.
I do
But
really
maybe
want a speakeasy yoga situation.
I think that would be the shit. I think there's a missed opportunity and we've just uncovered.
I know. We've definitely.
Yeah. A yoga speakeasy.
I know.
That'd be the
speakeasy.
That'd be fun.
That'd be so fun.
Yeah. All right.
TM.
Call this. I know, right? It's
TM.
ours. Don't anybody try to get out there. We'll call it something better than the House of Oriental.
We'll call it Horientals.
House
of Yoga.
Horientals with Horiental ankle harlots.
Ankle harlots.
Horiental ankle harlots. That's what we'll call this episode.
Yeah, and to get in, you're going to have to buzz 2 shaves and a haircut.
Yeah.
Real classy.
And then
real original.
3 long boobs and then a short one.
And then a fart machine for the last
We shouldn't
one.
align anything, actually, with them. I should have taken it back. Yeah. I like it. We'll freestyle fart machine it is.
Here's a fart machine. Yeah. Fart machine doorbell.
Could you imagine? No chill.
No joke.
No joke.
You could not. No, everyone would not want to go because they'd be like, fuck, do I have to do the fart machine, Bill.
Fucking fart
That's how
machine?
we weed you out.
Listen, if you don't have it in you to participate in a fart machine moment, you're probably not it.
You don't want to.
You don't want to hang out with us anyway.
All right, what are we calling this one? Oriental
Oriental ankle harlots. I say.
Easy.
Easy peasy.
So easy.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. We won't be here next week because we're on spring break and our lives are too difficult right now.
Yeah, we
will be
children.
back the 17th. The 17th.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah. What are you looking at?
Your calendar.
It says you can't read that. It says get Ghibli ticks.
Get what?
I want to go to the Ghibli park. I want to go to Ghibli Park in Japan, and I put it on my calendar because you have to buy them at a certain.
Ticks.
Yeah, get Ghibli
God,
ticks.
you're so cool. I'm excited for you.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.